I have a question for you, and I want you to be totally honest with me.
Okay, already.
Have you ever had that experience where you decide completely out of the blue that you want a specific car?
Oh, yes.
Maybe it's a car you have never really noticed before. Let's say, I don't know, a vintage Land Rover or a bright yellow Volkswagen Beetle. You just decide that's the one.
It's funny you bring that up. I actually went through a phase last year where I convinced myself I needed a Vespa, a very specific mint green Vespa.
A mint green Vespa.
I'd never ridden a scooter in my life, but suddenly that was the object of my desire.
Yes.
That's all I could think about.
Okay, perfect. A mint green Vespa. Now, prior to that decision, how often did you see mint green Vespas driving around your city?
Never. I honestly didn't think anyone in my neighborhood owned one. I thought I was going to be unique.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guy with the cool retro scooter.
Right, you'd be Vespa. Yeah.
Exactly. I had this whole identity built around it.
And then what happened in the 24 hours after you decided you wanted one?
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was a full-blown invasion.
No way.
I saw 3 parked outside my coffee shop the next morning. 3. I got cut off by one in traffic on the way to work. I saw an ad for one on a billboard I drive past every single day and had never, ever noticed. It felt like the universe was trolling me.
Exactly. It feels like a glitch in the Matrix, or that suddenly everyone in town had the same idea at the exact same time. It's so strange.
It is.
It happens with words, too. You learn a new word, some obscure, GRE word like apocryphal, and suddenly it's in every podcast, every article. Your mom uses it at dinner. It's spooky.
It is spooky. It has a name. It's formally known as the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, or the frequency illusion.
The frequency illusion, okay.
And most people, they just brush it off as a coincidence, or, they get a little mystical about it and think, the universe is sending me a sign.
Right. It's meant to be. I'm destined to own a mint green Vespa.
Which is a nice thought, but what if I told you it isn't magic at all? What if I told you it is actually biology? That there is a specific physical mechanism in your skull that is manually editing your reality in real time.
See, that is a much more interesting proposition than magic. And that is exactly what we are unpacking today.
I'm excited for this one.
We are doing a deep dive into Mindset Reset, Training Your Brain to Work for You by Mel Robbins.
This is a fantastic resource. Really, really practical stuff.
It is, but I have to stop you there for a second.
Yeah.
Because the word mindset, it's a buzzword. It's on every LinkedIn profile. It's in every corporate HR seminar. You just need a growth mindset. It feels a little fluffy.
I get that.
Are we just talking about positive thinking in that just smile and manifest it kind of way? Because if so, I might check out.
No, and I'm so glad you pushed back on that because I have the same reaction. If this were just think happy thoughts and the world will be perfect, we wouldn't be covering it.
Yeah.
It's just not our style. The source material we're looking at today is a transcript from Mel Robbins, who is, a massive figure in the behavior change space, best-selling author, one of the most booked speakers in the world.
She's legit.
She's very legit. And what she does here, I think is brilliant, is she strips away all the woo-woo spirituality of mindset and replaces it with hard neuroscience.
Okay, now I'm listening. Neuroscience, not just wishful thinking.
Exactly. She argues that mindset isn't a mood. It's not an attitude adjustment. It is a physical filter. It is a piece of biological machinery that you can program, just like you program a GPS or a smart thermostat.
A piece of machinery. I like that.
And here's the kicker. If you don't program it, it runs on default settings.
And I'm guessing the default settings aren't great.
The default settings are usually survival-based. They were great for, avoiding saber-toothed tigers.
Mm-hmm.
But in the modern world, that translates to anxiety, fear, and spotting danger everywhere.
So the mission for this deep dive is to understand that machinery.
Yes. We want to pop the hood on the brain. We want to understand what that machinery is, how it works, and most importantly, how we can grab the controls.
I love that phrase, grab the controls.
Because if we don't program it, it programs us. It's really that simple.
Okay, so this is about taking back our own agency over our perception. I love that. So, to keep us on track, give us the roadmap for this deep dive. How are we tackling this?
We have a very clear path today. First, we're going to look at the metaphor Robbins uses to define mindset. The sunglasses.
The sunglasses, okay.
It sounds simple, but she uses it to explain how our beliefs physically alter our perception. It's a really powerful starting point.
Got it.
Then we're getting into the science, the Reticular Activating System, or RAS.
The bouncer of the brain. I saw that in the notes. I can't wait to get to that part.
It's a great analogy. It really clicks. After that, we'll look at the blue Bronco phenomenon, which is your mint-green Vespa story on steroids. It's the proof that your brain changes in real time. It's not this slow, laborious process. It's instant. And finally, we are going to break down the Mindset Reset Toolkit, specifically looking for hearts and the substitution diet.
Practical tools. Love it. I am ready to get into this. Let's start with the basics. Section 1, the sunglasses. How does Mel Robbins actually define mindset? Because people use that word a lot, but what is the actual definition here?
So she starts with a standard definition, the kind of thing you'd find in a textbook.
Okay.
Mindset is the collection of beliefs, assumptions, and opinions you hold about how the world works. It is the operating system for your life.
Standard definition, a bit dry, kind of makes my eyes glaze over.
Right. And Robbins admits she's dyslexic and thinks in pictures, not text. So for her, that definition is way too abstract. It doesn't land.
So she needs a visual.
She needs a visual metaphor, and the one she uses is perfect. She says mindset is a pair of sunglasses.
I loved her description of her own sunglasses in the source material. It wasn't just any sunglasses. It was this very specific, cheap pair.
No, it was very specific. She talked about this pair of huge, black, bug-eyed plastic glasses she bought for like $15 on a rafting trip because she forgot hers.
We've all been there, the emergency gas station purchase.
Totally. And she said she put them on and felt like Jackie O.
We've all had those cheap glasses that make you feel like a different person, like you're a movie star for a second.
Exactly. But the point she makes is crucial. When she puts those glasses on, everything she sees is tinted. The world literally looks darker.
Right, the colors change.
The greens are muted, the blues are deeper. The reality hasn't changed. The sun is still shining, the trees are still green. But her perception of it has changed because of the lens she is looking through.
And that is what our beliefs do. They tint reality.
Precisely. They filter what you see. She gives this great example of the pessimist at the beach. I want you to picture this.
Okay.
You are in the Bahamas. It's paradise.
Yeah.
Crystal clear water, tropical drink in hand, sun is shining. It is objectively perfect.
I'm there. I can feel the sun.
But this person, the pessimist, is miserable. They are agitated. They're complaining. Why? Because lunch hasn't arrived yet.
I feel like we all know this person. We've been on vacation with this person. The service here is so slow. The sand is too hot. That music is too loud.
Yes, they're in paradise, but they've found the one thing that's wrong and they've zoomed in on it.
Or the example she gave of the wedding guest. That one really hit home.
Oh, that's a classic.
You're at a beautiful wedding. There's a great band, happy couple, open bar. Everything is lovely, and you're sitting next to someone who is just complaining about a relative across the room.
Can you believe what she's wearing? I can't believe she showed her face here after what happened at Christmas.
Yes, they are missing the entire event. They are physically in paradise or at a party, but mentally they are in a completely different place, a negative place.
And here is the insight that really matters, the part that's actually a little scary.
What's that?
They don't realize they're wearing dark glasses. To them, that is just what the world looks like. They think the world is annoying and slow and irritating. They believe they're just being realistic or observing the truth.
They think they're the only sane one in the room. Can't you all see how terrible this is?
Exactly. They don't realize their belief system is filtering out the 99% of beauty and highlighting the 1% of annoyance.
That's the scary part, isn't it? You think you're seeing the truth, but you're seeing a filter. It's like an Instagram filter you can't turn off.
You don't even know it's on.
But surely this works the other way, right? There are people with the rose-colored glasses, the optimists.
Absolutely. Think about that colleague with the can-do attitude. You know the type.
Oh, for sure. The one that's a little too cheerful on a Monday morning.
Right. The project is falling apart, the client's being rude, the deadline is impossible, the building is practically on fire, and this person just shrugs and says, we'll figure it out, or that this is a great opportunity to show what we can do.
Which is infuriating if you're the pessimist, by the way. You want to shake them and say, don't you see the fire? Are you delusional?
It is. It feels like they're living in a different reality. But Robbins cites a study from the University of Toronto that suggests they kind of are.
What do you mean?
This blew my mind. The study found that when you are in a positive mood, your visual cortex, the part of your brain that processes sight, actually takes in more information.
Wait, physiologically, you mean it's not just a metaphor?
Physiologically.
Yeah.
You literally see more of the world. Your visual horizon expands. You notice things in your periphery that a negative person who is more narrowly focused would literally be blind to.
So if I'm in a bad mood or have a negative mindset, I have actual biological tunnel vision.
Biologically, yes. You are seeing fewer of the options available to you. You are focused narrowly on the threat or the annoyance, which makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. And this brings us to the so what of this section. Why does this matter? It's not just about feeling good. It's not about being happy-clappy all the time. Mindset determines action.
Okay, can you unpack that connection? How do the sunglasses I'm wearing translate to what I actually do with my day?
Okay, let's use a really concrete example. Let's say you're looking for a job. High stakes. Lots of emotion involved.
Yep, stressful.
If your sunglasses, your mindset, are tinted with the belief, nobody will hire me, or the economy's terrible, or I don't have the right skills, that belief filters your reality.
Okay.
You look at a job posting on LinkedIn, and what do you see?
You only see the qualifications you lack.
Exactly. You scan for the deal breakers. Oh, they need 5 years of experience. I only have 3. No point. Or requires expertise in this software I've never used. Nope.
You're looking for reasons to say no. You're looking for proof that you're right, that you're not qualified.
And what do you do? What action do you take?
You don't apply. You just scroll past. You close the laptop.
Right. But now, let's say you swap the glasses. Your glasses are tinted with, I can figure this out, or I am a quick learner, or someone has to get this job. Why not me?
A different filter?
A different filter.
Yeah.
You see the same job posting. What do you see now?
You see the qualifications you do have. You think, okay, I only have 3 years, but they're really intense years. Or I can learn that software on the weekend. There's probably a YouTube tutorial.
You see opportunity. You see possibility. And what action do you take?
You apply. You write the cover letter. You make the call.
And there it is. The reality is the same. The job market's the same. The posting is the same. But the action is completely different based on the filter.
And therefore, the outcome is completely different. One person stays unemployed, the other gets an interview.
Not because of ability, but because of the filter. That's the power of this.
It's powerful because it shifts the locus of control. It's not, I'm not capable. It's, I'm wearing the wrong glasses. It makes the problem solvable.
It empowers you to change the glasses.
Yeah.
But to do that, to really do that, we need to understand that this isn't just a nice metaphor. It's anatomy.
Yes. Let's get into the science. Because Robbins pivots from the sunglasses to something called the RAS. What is that?
The RAS stands for the Reticular Activating System.
Reticular Activating System. Got it.
It's a bundle of nerves at our brainstem.
Mm.
In the source material, Robbins describes it visually as a hairnet of live neurons that sits right over the brain.
A hairnet. Okay, that's a memorable, if slightly strange, image.
It is, but it helps you picture it. And its function is essentially that of a bouncer at a nightclub.
I love this analogy. So my brain is the club.
Your conscious mind is the VIP section of a very, very crowded, loud nightclub. Think about the problem of information overload.
Okay.
Your brain is constantly being bombarded with sensory input. Sights, sounds, smells, tactile sensations, the feeling of your socks on your feet, the hum of the refrigerator, the pressure of the chair you're sitting in.
It's true. Even right now, I wasn't really thinking about the feeling of the headphones on my ears until you mentioned it. Now I can't stop feeling them.
Exactly. Or the temperature of the room. Or the pattern on the wall behind you.
Mm.
Robbins says if your brain processed 100% of that data simultaneously, your head would basically explode. It would be a complete short circuit. You couldn't function.
So the bouncer's job is to keep the noise out, to keep the riffraff from overwhelming the VIPs.
The bouncer's job is to decide who gets into the VIP section, your conscious mind, and who has to stay outside in the cold. Because there's just too much data, the RAS has to filter.
And here's the million-dollar question. How does the bouncer decide who gets in?
Right. What's the criteria? Is there a dress code? Do you have to know someone?
Yeah, how does it pick?
The criteria is simply what is important to you.
What's important to me?
The RAS only lets in what it thinks you care about, what you have deemed significant.
But wait, if I'm obsessing over my insecurities or I'm worried about failing an exam, I don't want to care about those things. I hate thinking about them. But the bouncer lets them in anyway?
Yes. And this is the tricky part. This is the part people miss. The guest list for your conscious mind isn't written by what you want to happen.
So what's it written by?
It's written by what you focus on.
Ah.
Energy flows where attention goes. If you focus on self-doubt, the bouncer, who is very literal, says, oh, The boss seems really interested in insecurity today. Let's let all the evidence of insecurity right through the front door.
So the bouncer isn't mean, it's just obedient. It's just following my lead, even if my lead is terrible.
It's a machine. It doesn't have an opinion. If you tell it to look for reasons you're a failure, it will find them with stunning efficiency.
That is terrifying, but also validating. It explains why, when you're having a bad day, it feels like everything goes wrong.
Yes,
It's not that everything is going wrong, it's that the bouncer is only letting in the bad stuff.
precisely. If you trip on the sidewalk, the bouncer says, "See? Clumsy. Add it to the list." If someone doesn't hold the door, "See? Nobody respects you. Add it to the list."
The coffee is cold. The traffic is bad. This email sounds passive-aggressive.
Meanwhile, 5 people smiled at you, you got a nice text from a friend, and your favorite song came on the radio. But the bouncer blocked them out because they didn't match the theme on the guest list. The theme for the day was, everything is awful.
So we are inadvertently programming our own misery by focusing on it.
We are. We are actively curating a feed of evidence for our worst beliefs about ourselves and the world.
Wow.
But the good news is the RAS is just a machine. It doesn't have an agenda. It just follows orders. And this leads us directly to the proof that this system is real and, more importantly, that it's plastic. It can change.
It can be reprogrammed.
And, quickly, Robbins calls this the Blue Bronco effect.
Yes. This was such a relatable story in the transcript. We're back to the car example from the intro.
It's the perfect illustration.
So Mel is driving this 2014 car, right? And it's falling apart. The check engine light is always on.
Brake light issues. It's seen better days.
Yeah.
She's just done with it. She's had it.
And she decides, you know what? I want a new Ford Bronco. And not just any Bronco.
No, she gets super specific. She wants a silvery blue one with a soft top.
She has the image in her head, a very specific visualization.
It's crystal clear.
And she says that prior to this decision, she had never noticed a Bronco in her town. Not one. Maybe her brother had one in Chicago. But in her town, 0. To her conscious mind, they did not exist.
To her, they were invisible.
But the very moment she decides she wants one, she programs that into her brain. What happens?
She sees them everywhere.
Everywhere. It's like they fell from the sky overnight.
It's the invasion of the blue Broncos. She realizes her video producer's husband drives one, and she'd never noticed it before. She sees them in parking lots, on the highway.
It feels like everyone in her town went out and bought this specific car on the same day just to mess with her.
But they didn't.
No. And that is the mind-bending part.
The Broncos were always there.
Always.
They were driving past her every single day. But before, they weren't on the guest list. The RAS, the bouncer, said, "Ford Bronco, not important, block it out."
Just background noise.
The moment she attached desire and interest to it, the RAS said, "Update the guest list. Broncos are VIP." And suddenly the filter opens up and lets them through.
It's wild to think about how much we are missing simply because we haven't told our brains to look for it. All the opportunities, all the solutions, all the mint green Vespas that are driving right past us.
It's a profound thought. Robbins gave other examples too, right? It's not just cars.
Oh, absolutely. She talks about fashion trends, like curtain bangs.
Oh, the curtain bangs. Yes, my feed is full of them.
You see one celebrity with them, you think, maybe I could pull that off, and suddenly every person on the street seems to have curtain bangs.
Or specific sneakers. She mentions Converse with the inch-tall sole.
Oh.
Or covered-toe Birkenstocks.
I've had this with songs. You hear a new song, you like it, you add it to your playlist, and suddenly it's playing in every coffee shop, every grocery store. It feels like it's following you.
Or life stages. This is a big one she touches on. This one can be really painful for people.
Yeah.
If you are trying to get pregnant, what do you see everywhere?
Pregnant women and babies, strollers. Everywhere you look, it feels like a population boom just happened.
And if you're going through divorce, you suddenly notice all the happy couples holding hands. It's the same mechanism, just a much more painful filter.
It's all about what's important to you in that moment.
She mentions college, too. Looking at the University of Michigan, suddenly Michigan stickers are on every rear windshield on the highway.
So the key takeaway here is that the brain changes in real time. This isn't a slow process of building new habits over years. It's like flipping a switch.
Robbins says it is easier to program than a TV remote. And she's right. The RAS is a survival mechanism. It needs to be fast. If you suddenly decide you're hungry, it needs to spot food now. It updates the filter instantly based on your focus.
Okay, so that's the empowering part. We can see Broncos if we want to. We can find opportunities. But we need to talk about the dark side of this. Because if the RAS is just a machine that follows our focus, What happens when our focus is toxic?
This is where we get into the trap of negative programming. And this is where most people live, honestly, without realizing it.
It's the default setting.
It's the default. And Robbins addresses a listener question here from a guy named Peter, who asks about getting past doubts.
Right. Because if I'm spending all day thinking, I'm not good enough, I messed up that meeting, I'm awkward, I'm essentially writing my flaws on the guest list in big, bold letters.
You are training the bouncer. Every single time you indulge that thought, it's like a training session. The RAS thinks, oh, insecurity is fascinating to Peter. Let's find more evidence of it. This must be the most important thing in the world to him.
So it goes to work for you, but in the worst possible way.
Exactly. So imagine Peter goes to work. He sends 32 emails correctly. He handles a client call perfectly. He has a great meeting, but he makes one typo in one email.
The RAS ignores the 32 wins.
Completely blocks them. They're background noise. They don't make it past the velvet rope. But that one typo,
The bouncer rolls out the red carpet.
the bouncer opens the velvet rope and ushers it right to the front of his mind, spotlights on it, and he spirals. He thinks, see, I'm incompetent. I knew it. I can't do anything right.
She used the email from the boss scenario, too, which I
What?
felt in my soul. It's so universal.
Oh, the vague, can you stop by my office email, or the got a minute Slack message.
Panic. Immediate panic. Your stomach drops.
If your filter is set to insecurity, you interpret that email immediately as I'm in trouble or I'm getting fired. You don't interpret it as maybe I'm getting a bonus, or maybe they just need to ask a quick question about the TPS reports.
Your filter dictates the interpretation of ambiguous data.
Perfectly said. It takes neutral data and runs it through your bias, and it comes out negative.
There's another example she gave that I thought was really powerful and also very sad about the single friend.
This one is heartbreaking because it shows how the RAS can create a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's a dangerous loop.
Imagine a friend who is amazing, smart, funny, a great person, but believes deep down that they are unlovable and will never find a partner.
We all have a friend like this, or we are this friend at some point in our lives.
Right. So this friend walks into a bar or a party because their focus, their guest list, is all about I'm unlovable. Their RAS scans the room. And what does it highlight?
Happy couples.
Only the couples. It highlights the people holding hands, the people kissing, the people laughing together. It literally blocks out the other single people in the room who are also looking around.
It renders them invisible. They might as well not exist.
So the friend stands at it for 10 minutes, their brain providing a constant stream of evidence for their negative belief. And then they leave the bar thinking, see, I was right. Everyone is coupled up except me.
But the reality was that there were probably 5 other single people there who would have loved to talk to them. They just didn't see them.
They literally did not notice them. The bouncer didn't let that information in. And so the belief, I'm unlovable, gets reinforced. They feel hopeless. They give up. They stop going out. And the belief becomes true. It's a tragedy created by a filter.
It's a loop. The belief shakes the filter shapes the reality confirms the belief, and it just goes round and round.
Exactly. And Robbins brings this into the modern age by comparing the RAS to social media algorithms. This is such a perfect analogy for today.
It really is. The TikTok For You page or the Instagram Explore page.
It is your external RAS.
Yeah.
The algorithm just gives you what you interact with. It doesn't care if it's healthy for you. It has no moral compass.
All it wants is your attention, just like the RAS.
Precisely. If you watch puppy videos, it gives you more puppies. Robbins mentioned she went through a phase of liking long nail videos, like intricate manicures, and suddenly her feed was just fingernails.
But it can get dark there too really fast.
Can. She talks about her daughter. Her daughter's feed for a while was full of fitness models, waist trainers, filtered bodies, six-pack abs, unrealistic standards.
And if that's all you see, you start to think that's what the whole world looks like. You think that's normal.
Then you feel terrible about yourself.
Yeah.
The algorithm, just like your RAS, created a reality tunnel that normalized an unrealistic standard. It reinforced the I'm not good enough narrative because it showed her nothing else.
So we have this powerful biological machine, the RAS, that can either show us blue Broncos and opportunities, or it can show us our flaws and reasons to be miserable. The big question, the whole point of this is, how do we take control of the bouncer? How do we rewrite the guest list?
This brings us to the Mindset Reset Toolkit. Robbins offers 2 very specific, very actionable tools. And I have to warn you, the first one sounds a little, well, it sounds a little childish at first.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But the science behind it is absolutely solid.
Is this the Looking for Hearts game?
It is.
Okay, tell me about this. Because when I first read it in the source, I rolled my eyes a tiny bit. Just look for hearts. It felt a little preschool, a little cheesy.
But it's a common reaction. I had it too.
That's it?
But you have to stick with it. The exercise is simple. Every single day, you go on a scavenger hunt in your daily life to find a naturally occurring heart shape.
Not a drawing of a heart, not a Valentine's card, but like out in the wild.
Correct. A cloud shaped like a heart. The foam on your coffee, a stain on the carpet, a rock you walk past on the sidewalk, a leaf, a spot on a dog's back.
Okay. And what is the point of this? Is it just to see something cute and feel good for a second?
No. And this is crucial. It is not about the heart. The heart is irrelevant. It could be blue cars or red triangles or the number 7.
So what's it about?
It's about the training. It's practice. By telling your brain, find a heart, you are giving the bouncer a new conscious instruction. You are testing the mechanism.
You're proving to yourself that you can find something if you look for it. You are consciously engaging the search function of your brain.
Exactly. You are forcing the RAS to scan the environment for a specific pattern that is not threat-based. And Robbins emphasizes a second step to this, which is just as important.
Okay.
When you find one, you have to stop and stare at it.
The savoring step.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to consciously acknowledge it. You say to yourself, holy cow, there it is. My brain found it. I told it to look for something, and it delivered.
You're giving it a little pat on the back.
This releases a little bit of dopamine. It rewards the brain for being flexible. It serves as physical evidence, tangible proof that you can change what you see.
I like that framing. It's physical evidence, because if I can program my brain to find a heart in a stain on a rug, then the implication is I can program it to find an opportunity in a crisis.
That is the leap. If you can change your perception of the physical world, you can change your perception of your abstract world. If you can see hearts, you can see hope, you can see solutions. It's the same neural machinery.
It's like a warm-up lift for your brain. You're doing a bicep curl before you try to lift the really heavy weight of your own negativity.
What a great way to put it. It's a rep. You're building the muscle of intentional focus.
I love that. Okay, so that's tool 1, looking for hearts. What is tool 2?
Tool 2 is what Robbins calls the substitution diet. In psychology, this is known as cognitive bias modification.
Substitution diet sounds catchier. I'll stick with that.
It does. The concept is that you cannot just stop thinking negative thoughts. Nature abhors a vacuum. If I tell you, don't think of a white bear, what do you immediately think of?
Toy Berry. Every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you try to stop worrying, you'll worry more. It's like trying not to press a big red button.
Yeah.
You have to substitute the thought. You have to give the brain something else to chew on.
So when the brain starts spiraling, what if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if they say no? What do we do?
You immediately interrupt it with one specific phrase.
Yep.
I don't argue with it. You don't reason with it. You just interrupt.
Uh-huh.
And the phrase is, what if it works out?
What if it works out? Simple.
Simple, right?
Mhm.
But here is the logic, and I think this is brilliant. Robbins points out that what if I fail is a made-up story. You don't know the future. You are inventing a nightmare scenario in your imagination.
We treat our worries like they are predictions, but they're really just a form of creative writing. We're writing horror fiction about ourselves.
Exactly. So what if it works out is also a made-up story. It's also fiction. But, and this is the key, it's a made-up story that leads to action.
Right. If I think, what if I fail this presentation? May I stay in bed and my anxiety gets worse. If I think, what if it works out and they love it? I might actually open PowerPoint and start working on the slides.
Or apply for the job. Or go to the gym. Or ask the person out on a date. And neurologically, asking what if it works out forces the RAS, the bouncer, to scan for reasons why it might work. It shifts the search parameter.
Bouncer gets a new guest list.
Instead of looking for danger, you start looking for capacity. You look for strength. You look for past successes.
It's flipping the bouncer's instructions again. Hey, stop looking for VIPs with a negative attitude. Start looking for VIPs who are bringing possibility to the party.
Precisely. It's a manual override for the default negative programming.
Now, I want to touch on something that came up in the source material that I found really touching and also very real. It was a comment from a listener, native in Germany.
Ah, yes. This was a profound moment in the source.
They said they did the exercise, they found the hearts. They actually saw 2 hearts in an hour, which is pretty good.
It's a great start.
But then they felt scared. They were scared to hope. And that really hit me. The fear of being disappointed is so powerful.
This is a very real phenomenon. And it's the final boss for a lot of people. Robbins calls the negative inner voice a campaign of misery. And for many people, that campaign has been running unopposed for decades.
So where does that come from? Why are we programmed to be so miserable? Are we just born this way?
Robbins suggests we aren't born with it. Babies aren't cynical. We inherit it, often from parents or caregivers who had their own campaigns of misery. She mentions her own grandmother pitching at her. We absorb these
Well,
voices.
they're in the patterns.
But then she points to a specific time in life where it gets cemented, where it really hardens into our personality.
Middle school.
Middle school. The worst, right? She calls it the sorting hat.
That is so accurate. It feels just like that.
It's that moment where we desperately try to figure out where we fit. Are we the theater kids, the sports kids, the smart kids, the rich kids? And to avoid rejection, which feels like death at that age,
It really does.
our brain starts scanning for where we don't belong. We become hypervigilant about our own inadequacy to protect ourselves from being ostracized.
So we trained our RAS to look for rejection so we could survive 7th grade social studies.
Exactly. It was a defense mechanism, a survival strategy for a very specific and very brutal social environment. But the problem is, we are adults now. We don't need that protection anymore. But the software is still running.
The bouncer is still working off the guest list from 1998, looking for signs that the popular kids are going to make fun of our shoes.
That is exactly it. And Robbins says the adult opportunity is to realize that, to become conscious of the outdated programming, to reclaim the brain,
It's about an update.
to stop listening to the middle school programming and start scanning for where we do fit in and what is working.
She describes it as hand-to-hand combat, which feels right. It's not easy. It's not a gentle process.
No, it's not a one-and-done fix. She compares it to lifting weights, and I think that's the best analogy. You don't go to the gym once and have biceps forever.
If only.
You have to do the reps every day. Finding the hearts, asking, what if it works out? Those are the reps.
Yeah.
It's mental strength training.
I love that. It's daily practice. It's a discipline.
Oh.
Okay, let's wrap this up and put it all together. What are the big takeaways from this deep dive for someone listening?
Okay, let's summarize. Number one, mindset is a physical filter. It's not just a mood. Think of the sunglasses. It tints everything you see, for better or worse.
Number 2, the RAS is the bouncer of your brain. It lets in what you focus on. If you focus on problems, you get problems. If you focus on Broncos, you get Broncos.
Number 3, you can reprogram the bouncer. It's not fixed. You can do it by consciously looking for specific things, like the hearts game. This proves to your brain that it can find what it looks for. It builds trust in your own ability to direct your focus.
And number 4, the substitution diet. You can't just stop a negative thought, but you can replace it. Catch the negative what if and swap it with what if it works out.
And I want to leave the listener with this final provocation from the source material. It really stuck with me, and it's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Lay it on us.
Robbins says, you are not stuck with the thoughts you think.
That's a huge statement because it feels like we are. It feels like they're us.
It does. But she says, if you can make up a nightmare scenario, you are equally capable of making up a success scenario. You have the creative power to do both.
Yeah.
You are a storyteller.
The only difference is the choice of which story to tell.
The only difference is the choice.
That is so empowering. You are the author of the story, not just a character in a story someone else is writing.
And you are the boss of the bouncer. You get to decide who gets into your club.
So here is our challenge to you, the listener. Today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, go find a heart.
Do it.
Look for a cloud, a leaf, a coffee stain. Prove to yourself that you can see something you weren't seeing before.
And when you find it, stop. Stare at it.
Mm.
And realize in that moment, your reality just changed because you decided it would.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you on the next one.
See you then.